Good morning and welcome to Montrose Fresh, the new podcast from the Montrose Daily Press. Today is Wednesday, December 2nd, and we're here to bring you the local news, events, announcements, jobs, and more that matter to us here in Western Colorado. Today, our focus is on the mobile crisis service recently launched by the Center for Mental Health. Today's episode is brought to you by Elevate Internet. Whether it's for your home or your business, they offer the best speeds at the best price. Right now, if you refer a friend, you can get $25 off. Give them a call for more information at 844-386-8744 or visit them at elevateinternet.com. Before we begin, we'd like to recognize two Montrose High School football players who have been playing together long before they joined the team. Brothers Austin and Blake Griffin, a junior and a freshman at Montrose High, have squared off since their younger years, racing against one another at home. These competitive sprints have translated to game action so far during the 2020 high school football season. The Griffin brothers, running backs for the Montrose Indians, experienced a rarity among siblings in the same program, playing together and scoring in the same game. Now, our feature story. People in need of immediate mental health care can't always access the Center for Mental Health's resources, particularly if they're in rural areas. Enter the center's new mobile crisis response team. The Colorado Office of Behavioral Health recently had a town hall with Health Management Associates, or HMA, an independent research and consulting firm. HMA's Robin Odendahl shared some really interesting insight. She pointed out that individuals in rural communities may have been more likely to visit an emergency department for behavioral health because they didn't have access to potentially more appropriate levels of care.
While we see certainly that there is high ED use for behavioral health in urban areas such as Mesa County or Jefferson County or Dearborn County, we also see high use of ED for behavioral health in rural and frontier regions, suggesting that simply just proximity to the emergency department, which you might have in a more urban area, is not driving the use on its own, that perhaps it's also an indication of the availability of more perhaps appropriate or lower acuity levels of care that can intervene sooner than someone having to access the emergency department for the behavioral health need in these rural and frontier regions.
The Center for Mental Health's new mobile crisis program is one more tool to help meet urgent mental health needs of individuals in these rural areas. Trained professionals are sent out to de-escalate situations and stabilize the involved individual. The team conducts a crisis evaluation and then connects the patient to a clinician for an in-person or telehealth assessment. The team can then transport the patient to the crisis center, hospital, or other facility, plus make a follow-up care plan. People in crisis can call for help themselves. Others can also call on behalf of someone else. The crisis team that receives the calls will evaluate the requests and then dispatch someone to help. Although the function is similar to the co-responder model, the new mobile crisis team is different. Professionals still deploy to a person in need, but the idea is to avoid having to use law enforcement. The center also uses established guidelines to really make sure that professionals can safely respond without law enforcement support. The service is available 24/7 to people of all ages and regardless of insurance or ability to pay, thanks to some state investment. Next, here are a few other things going on in Montrose that you should know about. The man accused of biting off the fingertip of a police chief while resisting arrest has been formally charged with multiple counts of assault. El Pomar trustees approved grant allocations to 20 nonprofit organizations in the San Juan region. Recipients included several Montrose organizations, including Maslow Academy of Applied Learning and the Black Canyon Boys and Girls Club. The Colorado Department of Transportation has completed installing a remote avalanche control system on Lizard Head Pass, Colorado 145. And finally, before we go, we'd like to take a moment to remember the life of Robert Abbott. Shortly after graduating from high school, Bob was drafted by the Army, where he was stationed in occupied Germany and was a tank mechanic. After the war, he met and married the love of his life, Joan, becoming father to 3 kids, Alan, Ella, and Tony. Bob and Joan ran a business together for over 25 years before retiring to Montrose. He enjoyed photography, fishing, and roaming the mountains of western Colorado. Thank you for taking a moment today to remember and celebrate Bob's life. That's all for today, and thank you for listening. For more information on any of these stories, visit us at montrosepress.com. And don't forget to check out our sponsor, Elevate Internet. Visit them at elevateinternet.com to learn more. For more than 137 years, the Montrose Daily Press has been dedicated to shining light on all the issues that matter to our community. Go to montrosepress.com to subscribe for just $1.99 per week for our digital edition. You'll get unlimited access to every story, feature, and special section. Thank you, and remember to tune in again next time at montrosepress.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.